Let's talk about Jonathan Byers, a character from the very popular show Stranger Things. He isn't the one with superpowers, or the funny one, or the leader of the group. He's the quiet one, often in the background, taking pictures. But if you look closer, his story is one of the most quietly heartbreaking and real in the entire series. It's the story of a young man who, long before monsters from another dimension showed up, had the weight of a crumbling world placed squarely on his shoulders. His entire life has been defined by the pressure of being the responsible one, a role he never asked for but had to grow into far too quickly. To understand Jonathan, you have to start with his family, or what's left of it. His father, Lonnie, is a selfish and cruel man who left, calling Jonathan weak and his brother, Will, a mistake. His mother, Joyce, is fiercely loving but struggles. She works long hours at a low-paying job, she's stretched thin, and the stress of their life sometimes makes her seem a little unsteady. A little frantic to the outside world. From a very young age, Jonathan stepped into the void his father left. He became the man of the house, not in a proud, symbolic way, but in a gritty, daily, exhausting way. He learned to fix things, to be quiet so as not to add more stress, to notice when the money was running low, and most importantly, to look after Will. Will isn't just his younger brother, he's Jonathan's primary responsibility, his reason for getting up, his soft spot. While other kids were worrying about homework and sports, Jonathan was worrying about whether his brother was safe, warm, and happy. This responsibility carved him into a specific shape: observant, patient, deeply caring, but also isolated, guarded, and carrying a constant, low hum of anxiety. This role of the caretaker completely isolated him. In the high school ecosystem, Jonathan was invisible. He had no time for clubs, no money for cool clothes, no energy for the carefree drama of teenage social life. He was an outsider, labeled a freak or a weirdo because he was poor and quiet and different. But he wasn't aloof because he thought he was better, he was separate because his mind was always somewhere else, on his family, on survival. His photography wasn't just a hobby. It was his only outlet, a way to frame the world and make sense of it from a distance, to find beauty in quiet, overlooked moments because his own life had so little room for loud joy. His love for music, the angry, raw punk he listened to, was a private rebellion, a scream into his headphones that he could never let out in real life because he had to be the stable one, the calm one. Then, the unthinkable happens: Will vanishes. For Joyce, this is a descent into a frantic, desperate mission. For Jonathan, it is the ultimate failure of his one job. His entire purpose in life was to protect Will, and now Will is gone. The guilt is immediate and crushing. He blames himself. Should he have walked him home? Should he have been more aware? The pressure isn't just emotional now, it's a race against a terrifying, unknown clock. He supports his mother, but he also has to be the one who sometimes tries to ground her when her theories sound like madness, all while secretly believing them himself because he trusts her love above all else. He goes into the woods searching alone. He faces the monster, this physical embodiment of his worst fears, to try and save his brother. He does all this without superpowers or a squad of friends initially. He does it because he has to. He is the responsible one. Even as the group expands and he finds allies in Nancy, Steve, and eventually the kids, his role doesn't change, it adapts. He becomes the group's realist, the one who anticipates danger, who plans, who watches over the younger ones. He and Nancy bond not over typical teenage romance, but over shared trauma and a deep, mutual understanding of being outsiders who carry heavy burdens. With Nancy, he finds someone who sees his strength, not his social status. But this responsibility also puts him in painful positions. He often has to be the voice of difficult truth, the one who says the scary thing out loud when everyone else wants to hope. He fights not with his fists first, but with his mind, his loyalty, and his unwavering commitment to the people he loves. As the seasons progress and Will returns, Jonathan's job isn't over. Now he has to protect his brother from the lingering trauma, from the bullies, from the strange connection to the upside down. He becomes a buffer between Will and the world. In the beautiful, quiet moments between them, like fixing the supercom or talking in the car, you see the core of Jonathan, not a superhero, but a brother trying to mend wounds no kid should ever have. But this pressure starts to shape his future, too. By the time college applications roll around, his dream of going to New York to study photography feels like a fantasy. How can he leave? How can he go follow his own dream when his family, especially Joyce, who is now with the wonderful but often absent Hopper, still needs him? The responsible one doesn't get to be selfish. The responsible one stays close, gets a local job, and continues to hold the pieces together. In the later seasons, we see the strain of this lifetime of responsibility. Jonathan starts smoking weed not to be cool, but to quiet the constant noise of worry in his head. He argues with Nancy about their future because her brilliant, ambitious path feels like a universe he cannot afford to join. He is terrified of holding her back and equally terrified of failing her or his family if he tries to reach for his own dreams. He is stuck in the ultimate trap of the responsible child. His identity is so fused with being the caretaker that imagining a life for himself feels like a betrayal. The pressure has internalized itself. The monster isn't just out there anymore, it's the voice in his head that says, "You are only as good as your ability to fix things for others." What makes Jonathan's story so powerful is that it's not solved by a grand battle. His heroism isn't in a single act of bravery, though he is brave. It's in the thousand small acts of love no one sees. It's in making breakfast, in a reassuring look, in working a boring job, in sacrificing a dream so someone else can have a chance at peace. He represents everyone who had to grow up too fast, who became a parent to their parents or a protector to their siblings. His power is resilience, a deep, enduring love that functions as an anchor for everyone around him. The tragedy is that this anchor is so often taken for granted. The hope for Jonathan is that, through the love of Nancy, Joyce, and Will, he might finally learn that it's okay to share the weight, that being responsible doesn't mean carrying the load alone forever. He might finally see that his own happiness isn't a luxury but a necessary part of the family's healing too. In a story about psychic girls and interdimensional monsters, Jonathan Byers stands as a testament to a very real, very human kind of strength, the exhausting, quiet, and absolutely essential strength of the one who never stops caring, even when it costs him everything he dreams of being.